This might be the reason for FPS drops in Fortnite Chapter 5. So in this video, I'm going to be showing a tip that may fix a lot of people's FPS drops in Fortnite Chapter 5. Because Fortnite optimization in general has not been the best recently, but especially bad this season. I realized this tip will 100% boost your frames and stop them from dropping. My PC started performing way better with FPS being so much more consistent. The thing that I'm talking about is setting your RAM speed to its actual advertised speed. Most of you are probably thinking to yourself, wait, is my RAM already at its max speed? But actually it's not. You have to manually change it to the advertised speed people pay for. Let's say 3200 MHz, and it turns out that by default it may set to speed that's way lower. Usually by default is set to 2133 MHz. So to check what speed your RAM is running at, just go into your task manager and into the performance tab, then down to the memory tab. It's going to show you the megahertz that your RAM is running at. If it's showing the speed that it should be at, then you're good to go and you don't need to change anything. But if it's showing anything lower than this, then it's most likely making you have so much less FPS that you should be getting. Plus, it's making your game a lot less stable. If you have less megahertz in your RAM, that just makes you have a lot of more FPS drops. So yeah, you're obviously going to want to change this to make it go higher. My speed right now is at 3200 MHz, but before I realized this, it was actually running at 2133 MHz. Now, how to update this and set it to the correct speeds? To do this, you're going to have to restart your PC and go into your BIOS. At first, it seems kind of complicated, but it's really not. Everyone has a different type of motherboard, so it's impossible for me to say exactly how to go into your BIOS. But if you have, let's say a Gigabyte motherboard, then search on Google how to get into Gigabyte motherboard BIOS, and it should tell you. I'm going to show you the process on the Gigabyte motherboard. So firstly, start by restarting your PC, and when it gets to your motherboard logo screen, start spamming delete on your keyboard. For other motherboard, it's usually going to be just F1 or F2 or delete. After getting into your BIOS, press to go into advanced mode and go into the tweaker tab at the top. Now for most of you, this overclock tuner is going to be set to auto. You're going to want to change it to XMP1 or Profile 1. Also for other motherboards, you have to select the speed too. But for me, it automatically sets the max speed. Now for a lot of you, you're going to be able to go past the actual max speed that it should be at. But I wouldn't recommend it because it could cause some real problem with your PC. After doing this, you can exit your BIOS. So you can just press exit, save changes and reset. And okay, after exiting, it's going to start loading you into Windows. Just make sure you go back to the task manager and check if the speed updated to what it should actually be at. One last thing, make sure your RAM is in the right slots, which are slots 2 and 4, so the XMP overclock works and your RAM will be running at dual channel. Well, that's going to be the end of the video. It was kind of a long one for just one tip, but I wanted to explain everything so no one would have problem with it. I would really appreciate it if you could drop a like and a sub. I'm on the road to 2,000 subs, and hitting that would be insane. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.